staying in Nestle for 13 and a half years was not my plan, but it just happened that way. At one point, I was doing my internship and I was doing a job as well. And I was doing my undergrad. So it was crazy run. One of the experience that is still not shared yet with anyone is I have seen, a child getting molested when I was in grade one, and that was a experience that doesn't leave me ever.
I met Shakchhi around, I think, November of 2022 when I visited Dubai. At that time, I didn't know who she was or anything like that. I was on a personal trip and I had just started TGND a few months ago, and she had heard about it through LinkedIn and so on. And, we met really. The wavelength was amazing. Soon after that, she became the chapter leader for TGND for Dubai, and she was amazing. She was instrumental in really bringing that community there, and also showcasing to the world that Dubai ma, UAE ma, and Middle East भन्ने बित्तिकै we always think of Nepalis as migrant workers and so on, which is fine. But what we didn't really even know was that there's this huge and growing population of Nepali working professionals there. So I'm really grateful for Shakchhi for the work that she contributed in terms of building that community and also showcasing that Nepali professionals in the Middle East and the rest of the world are doing so much more. Malai say, on a personal level, so I really like Shakchhi also because she's very straightforward. She speaks her mind, and that's the hope for all women, all Nepali women, or all women in general. We're all supposed to be like that, but not for various reasons. We're not. But Shakchhi sort of showcases that in a wonderful way. And for our podcast, we wanted to showcase the person she is, her journey, personal level, professional level, and her story. So we're really excited about it. And before we actually dive into the conversation, just wanted to also let people know that we have a giveaway at the end of the season. We're really grateful to Nepal Tea Collective for sponsoring that giveaway. You'll hear more details through our socials very soon, but please engage with our content. That's how you'll, find out more info and also win that giveaway. So please engage with our content. And now let's go and take a deep dive into that interview.
Shakchhi, we have so much to talk about. Let's begin with your new role, your new location, and also tell us what you used to do before.
So my new role, which is actually beginning from 1st December, is Global Category Lead, which is Category Director for Metals Packaging in Kraft Heinz. And now I'm based in Amsterdam.
Awesome. So such a big change, right?
A huge change in terms of temperature from Dubai, yes.
Exactly. Tara, we're so excited for you. And I think Malai, when I met you a year ago, right? Right. One thing that was super exciting is, especially Nepalko context, when we hear about Nepalis in Dubai or Middle East, we always think about migrants and so on, right? Which is true. That you were the first person to open my eyes to this completely like this group of professionals in the area, Nepalis that are doing some amazing things, right? So thank you for being that first person and showing us that different world.
Thank you to you as well, because truth is, as you said, the way we look at it is in the Gulf countries, Nepalese identity is, cheap blue collar labor. But the reality is there is a lot of professional people from Nepal in good positions, and there was no network to connect or link them together. And somehow TGND became that forum where people could come to, because right now, if I see through the TGND group, I have met people who are even in a senior position than me, So that makes me feel really proud and makes me feel like, okay, something that I knew is actually there. And we just, all we need to do is connect with each other and, be that strong bond and make it believe to other people that it's not just the blue collar, cheap labor, source, but there are people in good positions doing good and, even doing better than what we would have thought about. Yeah.
Awesome. And I hope that, let's say, even though we, in terms of our podcast and so on, we focus a lot more, not intentionally, that in terms of people in the US and so on, that we're hoping that we can showcase more people from outside the US, right? I think there's so much exciting things happening. That before we actually take, a trip down memory lane, so I want to ask you one quick question. I'd say you've been with Nestlé for 14 years, Kati bhayo?
Exactly 13 and a half years. Yeah.
Right? Ani, this is so different, especially for your naya generation. Our parents' generation, we heard it all the time. People would, start and end their career in one organization. Tara oiliko generation isn't like that, right? People switch jobs every year, every 2 years, and so on. Tara you've stayed with the same company for so long. Oily, finally you're moving, right? What is your advice to people that are debating what they should do? Okay, every company sanga stick around, like making moves. What is and are they like any tips to look out for?
So staying in Nestlé for 13 and a half years was not my plan, but it just happened that way. So the reality is I was looking at many times to get out of Nestlé, look for a new opportunity, not because I don't love Nestlé. Nestlé is in me. It cannot, you cannot take out the Nestlé inside me. It's in my DNA now. So, but it just happened that you can imagine in 13 and a half years, I moved in 5 different roles. So whatever the outside world could offer me in terms of opportunity or learning, that I was getting within the company. Right. So that's why I stayed for longer. Now, when you said people staying in longer in a company, I would say you can stay in the same company for as long as you want. You can retire in the same company, but what you need to watch out is not to get stuck in the same position,
right?
Because what also is still ongoing is people will stay in the same position, same function for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years.
Exactly.
The reality is, if you stay in a position for such long year, you're not having any learning curve. So you are being fair to the job role itself. Yeah, because you're not learning anything new. You're not giving anything new.
Of course.
And the industry is changing so fast. If you're not being able to learn, not being able to be agile, then what happens is, things are getting outdated overnight.
Exactly. So you have to grow within a company. Right?
Yes. I would say do not think that should I stay in this company for this much, this longer or not. You should think about, should I stay in this position for this longer? Yeah, whether it's within the company or outside the company.
Right. No, that makes sense. Shakchhi, let's go back to your childhood in Nepal and India and so on. Tell us about that experience and how that has shaped you into the person you are.
So yeah, it's a very let's say emotional for me to always look back at my journey. The reason is I think I have gone through a lot, and during the young age, I have picked myself with no help, almost personally, I would say. But there were good people, or let's say angels around me, who really helped me, pick myself. So it has never been a la-la land always, as we hope it would be. So I'm raised in India. Have been to many different states, and it's all because of my father's job, which was in Indian military. He was there, so every 2 to 3 years we were moving in different state within India. It helped me be the person that I am today, but I always think about what would have happened if this was not my life, in my childhood. So one of the things that really shaped me, and at that moment, it was a story which happened when I was in grade 6. we moved from Rajasthan to Calcutta. And in Rajasthan, you can imagine, and I was always gone to either military school or KV, what we call Kendra Vidyalaya, because the academic courses go in sync in all the states. So when military kids or Navy kids or Air Force kids move, they are having the same chapter, the same class going on. So they do not feel the loss in the academically in the studies. Yeah. So it just happened. I moved from Rajasthan to Calcutta. And when you compare Rajasthan, the way the teachers used to teach was very different and not competitive. I remember we used to have 3 different segments in English, like English literature, English grammar, and English just basic, I don't know what was it, 3 books, 3 segments. Same for Hindi and then, other subjects. When I was in Rajasthan, they never used to cover 3 of the segments. They will only take the primary one. They will not teach us literature. They will not focus on grammar. However, when we landed in Calcutta, keep in mind, I think Bengali people are the most competitive people. They were teaching 3 of the segments. So me coming in the middle of the year, it just became a situation where I came from very non-competitive, not academically focused state to a very competitive, very academically focused state. Everybody was very competitive. And I joined in the middle of the academic season. And what could happen? I failed.
Oh.
So for me, when I failed, of course, I was too young to understand how this works. They didn't give me the report card during the when they distribute everybody's report card. They just told me, get your parents, So I didn't understand why I'm not getting my, report card, Right. So of course, he was helping me at home with the studies. Nobody knew that what they should be doing. You just go to the school, you study, and that's it. So I got my parents, and I remember the class teacher, my class teacher at that time, the way she told me, get your parents, I knew I have done something wrong, So I can tell you that moment shaped my life, because when I joined that class in grade 7, I was actually grade 6 or 7, I can't remember exactly. I entered the class and I was 33 or 34th roll number. Mm-hmm. And the way it was competitive in Calcutta was so massive that your roll number is actually your rank.
Oh, wow.
So when everybody doesn't know you and you are the last roll number in your class, it happened by default because I joined in the middle of the session.
Right,
but
right.
See that people saw that I'm the last kid in the class. That means I'm the dumbest child in the class. And that happened because I failed, right? So for me, there was a lot to prove. And I saw the shame in my parents, the way they were basically treated by my class teacher, and the class teacher, how she treated me. And I was anyhow not getting any support from any of the teachers before coming, because of course they see that there's a lot of work that has to be done on me. But that really shaped my life, because I then started asking my mom, okay, I need help. I need to do this. Right. And next year, my roll number was 14. That means I'm the 14th rank in the class. Wow. So, suddenly I had this really, I would say, boost, within me. And I'm like, I'm going to prove I'm going to be the smartest kid in my class. Right. And from there on, I was always, top 5 or top 10 in the class.
So that was your turning point.
So it was really my turning point. But when I think about it, it becomes very, I would say, emotional for me, because I literally lift myself. There was nobody who really said, this is what is the right thing to do. Right. Of course, in our generation, you don't talk seriously to a child. Mm-hmm. You don't discuss things with a child. And we are coming from, let's say, that background or that society. These days, even to a 2-year-old, you will explain to them why they cannot eat ice cream. You will talk to them. You're talking to an adult, right? So I think...
does that mean that's actually Timro experience? Has that changed, or that has in terms of how you parent, has that affected you?
A lot. a lot because I always talk to my daughters on, what's happening in the school. Do they need any help? And I always tell them, you can always come to me if you want to talk to me, do you need help in this or that? And I always tell them that they can share anything with me. And if there's something that they cannot share with me, that means it's a wrong thing to do. Right. So I try to keep that bond with my daughters where they can come to me. So it has really made me that, I would say, a better parent versus what I was supposed to, let's say, get at that point. But of course, that doesn't mean, my parent did something wrong.
It's a very different parenting style. I think it's a different time.
And I think as a parent, you do whatever is best for your child, you think.
Right. Exactly. Of course. And I think I could say one sort of difference is also we're all more hands-on, right? You would think that our parents were hands-on, but I think just in terms of how involved we are, our parents' generation, it was probably more providing for us than really understanding, how we feel and things like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely right.
Perfect. So, India, tell us about that journey to Dubai. How did that happen?
So I was working since very young age, and it's not because I had to. It was just because I was too eager to grow up and be myself. Like as I said, the turning point that happened in Calcutta really changed me as a person, and I was in a rush to be independent. That's it. So I was doing a lot of small time jobs. At one point, I was doing my internship and I was doing a job as well. And I was doing my undergrad. So it was crazy run, So I used to go in the morning to my university, attend a 3-hour class, then go to my job, then take an evening shift, which was my internship in Survey of India. Yeah. So quite an intense period. And I have done studies that I don't even know why I did it. But of course, I did it because, my parents thought this is best for me or that is best for me. Yeah. For example, I have 1 year of professional, tailor's diploma.
Wow.
I don't know why it was done, but of course, it was with the intention to create this perfect wife for, future.
Also, yeah. It was somewhere, maybe it connects somewhere, right? Life skills.
Yes. And then I even did nursery teachers training, which is again a 1 year of intense, study. You have to study psychology. You have to study, story reading, story writing, narrating story, so many things. And I think about it like it was all done for creating this perfect partner for the eligibility. But I'm not using all of the things that I learned at that time, but I think it makes me a better person right now.
Of course.
My own mending, let's
say.
Right.
No, it makes you independent in some ways, right? Even if it's not the same purpose, it sort of helps. When I was in school, high school maths, they had a subject called home science where they taught you like you had to make some clothes and things like that. And I used to get the lowest marks in the class. I haven't admitted to people and the teacher used to say that so.
My God, yeah. I think the concept is very. I remember within Calcutta, we used to have this class, which used to call. I don't know if it used to call different in Nepal or anywhere else. It used to be called SUPW, which is actually kind of this home science. Right, but in that, what used to happen is they will take the girls to stitch or make some fur toy, and the boys will be taken to teach the technical, how to fix a puncture, how to fix the cycle, how to maintain. And I always just think, why in this specific class we get separated? Girls are going somewhere else, boys are somewhere else. And I remember some boy saying, I want to stitch that rabbit that the girls are making.
I think one, in terms of our upbringing, like the they're separated into two so different streams. Okay? There is not a lot, especially oileko world, our identities are so fluid, right? In terms of even gender roles at home or at work and so on. So there is no one way, not just हामी केटीहरूको लागि to learn these skills, but even like you said, right? केटाहरूलाई पनि त्यो life skills सिक्नको लागि, right? There is no one place. Okay? It's also, you have to be two different paths.
Yeah, I think it's good that these days there is choices, because I think the generation, definitely where I'm coming from, there were no choices. You have been categorized into a box and you follow that box. That's it. You know?
Exactly.
So I was doing this internship and this crazy, job that I had and doing my studies. I was completing my master's. And at that time, it just happened that I was asked if I'm ready to explore Dubai. And that's how I landed up in Dubai. The way I landed up in Dubai was also a bit dramatic, because I came, and those days you have to get a visa, which is like a printed document, and it needs to be submitted into the immigration. And once it's received, then only that person is released outside the airport, basically.
Wow.
So and now these days you have digital copy and so on, and even you don't have to show your visa because it's all in the system,
Right.
So I landed in Dubai. It was my first, not just international flight, it was my first flight that I took on my own.
God.
It was crazy. I was 22 and a half or something. And of course, the things that I have gone through, I think, made me such a confident person. I don't remember me getting scared of being in the flight or anything. I think I was flying like as if I know how to fly,
Make it till you make it, right, Shakchhi?
I was like, I think I was doing that a lot, So I don't remember a bit of like second even that I was scared or nervous. I know what to do, So I landed, my visa was not there. It was weekend, Friday and so on. So I had to spend I don't remember exactly, 1 night or 2 nights in the airport to wait for that physical visa to be submitted there, because the tour agency who applied for my visa, their office was closed and so on, and they didn't care if the person is there or not.
Of course.
So big mess there. But when I came out, I made some good friends, some very caring people from Nepal as well. And of course, for me, it's very easy to connect with the Indian community. So I made a lot of friends from India, from Nepal. And that's how my journey began in Dubai.
Awesome. Here are quick questions. When we look at students in Nepal, mostly, especially for padhai or even to work, I think if we look at the top 3 choices, it's usually US, Australia, UK, and so on, right? Dubai, people don't know about it. What is your take on it, your advice for people that actually are thinking about working professional usmai pani settings ma chai, what are some things that you've learned working in Dubai that might be helpful for others?
So the first I would like to mention, according to my experience, I think why that is happening. Why that is happening is, if you're coming to Gulf, the kind of bureaucratical process that you need to follow with the government of Nepal is quite tough versus you going to any countries other than Gulf countries, yeah? Right. For example, you need to do a documentation where you are conforming this called shram. You need to do it. Very recently, I was in India to meet my sister, who is currently living in India, and I didn't know. I just went for like 4 days,
right?
And I didn't know the process. I tried to come back, and I go to take my boarding pass, and the lady in the counter, she tells me, she returns my passport, which is of course from Nepal,
right?
And she says, you need to get the approval, NOC. I was like,
oh my God.
I work in Dubai. I have the proper ID card, and I'm not going there as a tourist or something. Because there is another rule if you're going as a tourist. I was like, or just, few days as a holiday, And then she's like, sorry, I can't do anything. Go to immigration. I go to immigration, and the immigration people, when they see my passport, My passport was like this in the hand of the airline guy. He was walking in front of me, and they would see my passport, and they're like, there. And the thing that they are pointed at is a 2 A4 size wallpaper on the A4 size paper notice on the wall.
Right.
And I go to read that. It says, if you are traveling from India, you have to get this NOC, and to get this NOC, you need to do this document. I'm like, my flight is in 4 hours. I cannot do this.
Right.
So I tried to request them, but they didn't work out. Thankfully, doesn't matter how bureaucratical it is. I think there are people who are really good with working with a good intention with the governments. Even like, okay, we have another controversy subject on that. But all the hotline, that person connected me to the secretary of the embassy at that time. And when I contacted the secretary, he asked me that, why are you traveling from India? And I'm like, I'm on a holiday. Can I have So like, why is there a rule you cannot travel from here? And then he just told me that this is your ignorance, that you didn't knew the rule before traveling. And I'm like, I have every document. Why would I think there's something else that I need to travel?
Right.
So then, but anyhow, within 10 minutes, even less than 10 minutes, he gave me the NOC. And I'm so thankful to him. I have never found such professional person in all my life from Nepal.
Right.
Never. So,
Exactly. No, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. One, right? In a way, lucky pani bhannu parla. Tara, you're right. I think we should also highlight the good things that people do. Okay, right? Kati times say when we think about Nepali government, it is slow, bureaucratic, all of it hola. Tara koile kai you also chance upon people that really want to help, that are willing to help. Okay, and kati times we don't hear these positive stories. So I'm glad this was ending ramro thyo, and you got to go back to Dubai.
Yeah, you cannot imagine how furious I was when I saw because I was imagining, and of course it's coming from experience, and it's coming from a very biased mindset. I was like, I'm not going to take this flight. I know that, but I will try, but
I try. And
he communicated, the way he kept on keeping me calm and saying, I'm working on it. Just give me a few minutes, So I really felt that this person is very helpful and, acting professionally and understands the dilemma I am in. So really, it just opened my eye towards people who have been working in government and really trying to.
I think so. And I think also त्यसमा just, एउटा thing I would want to add is because there's so many of us Nepali diaspora that are outside and are probably will have issues like these, right? I think हाम्रो government ko side ma pani it'll be great if they try to understand that, okay, right? पहिलाको issues in terms of, straightforward zone हुन्थ्यो नि, that they learned versus अहिलेको जस्तो complicated, हामी कहाँ काम गर्छौँ, कहाँ बस्छौँ, के गर्छौँ, it's so अलिकति different पनि नि, right? In terms of हाम्रो migration outside Nepal and so on. तर त्यो knowledge or त्यो figure out गर्ने उनीहरुमा त्यो अलिकति willingness भयो भने I think it's good.
Yes, true. I think they need to be flexible. The way process is going on, I know it is done with all good intention to protect people, to make people aware about what's the process and make sure, there is somebody having an accountability on people going to a safe place, a secure place, and understanding where they are going, But I think they need to make it easy. Specifically, like for me, it was easy. I was like, I called the person and I said, what do you need? How can you help me? This is my flight. And it was easy for me to communicate to him. But imagine if there's somebody who is traveling for the first time and you give this person will definitely not make it.
Right. I know. Theo is so tricky. And sometimes say मलाई, a little different context. तर मलाई जहिले पनि एउटा sad लाग्ने चाहिँ when we think about the migrant population and so on, right? Nepal runs on remittance, right? From all these people and so on. And these people are, sacrificing their life and family and everything to do all of this. And there's the ones that are treated the worst out of the whole USMA, right? But they're not treated as if they're bringing money back. They're sending money back into Nepal. They're treated like, second class, third class citizens, right? And it's so tragic, funny.
Yes, it is. It is indeed. So few times when I have traveled from Nepal to Dubai, when I was still not married, some of the experiences are hard to go away from me because, like, for example, I'm checking in and there was this one definitely working in a construction field, a guy.
Right.
And he had no suitcase and he had like a sack, just to, and his stuff. And this airline person just threw it and said, what is this, like, just the Nepali woman, you kasto jhola le raha ho, kina suitcase mein le raha ho, and he literally threw it, like,
right.
And right. I was dying to fight for this guy. I was like, you are an airline person. You're not supposed to see I'm packing in a sack or in a suitcase,
right.
This doesn't give you a right to insult somebody. And the way he was talking, like it is what you call that, basically not treating him the way he will be treating other passengers,
Right.
So I felt it, and I think, yes, now these days I go to the airport, it's different. Things have got really better. Because I remember those days also when I was asked, why did you came in February and why are you coming in May again? Like, it's my country. I can come 100 times if I want. If I come, I can come 265 times. So don't ask me silly questions, Or asking somebody, is this your daughter? Is this really your daughter? Your document is there, So I remember instances where things have gone really bad and I have seen people getting it really badly.
Of course.
Last time I traveled to Nepal, the guy holded my passport in hand and he said, Korea. And I'm like, you have my passport in your hand. Pay attention. So it was, some fun moments also at times.
Right. Of course. I feel like, like I'm saying, we can collect all the experiences people have had with Nepalco immigration and the traveling thing, and we can actually publish a book. There's so many instances that people have.
So many. True. So anyhow, I see a big change, and I think that the authorities are changing. They have been keeping very, I would say, open mindset. The change is not as fast as we desire. However, there is change, and there is a good change that I see every time I go back to Nepal, which is good. Now, talking about, like, what suggestion can I give to people who are coming to Gulf countries and what can they learn from my experience? I think one thing, if you are coming to a Gulf country, please do not, let's say, keep a standard and do not accept something lower than what you're expecting. So, for example, I met somebody in Dubai very recently before I was leaving. She's a cleaner. A third-party contracting cleaner. She was a marketing manager in Nepal.
Oh, wow.
So I got, because, I was doing a walk with my husband around my neighborhood and we just saw her. And when you see Nepali people, you can make out they're Nepali. So my husband is always excited to meet other Nepali people and talk to them, So he was like, okay, Baini Katago and all that. We started talking, and then she was telling her story that she raised...
That's so heartbreaking, Tara.
It's heartbreaking, and it's not one story. There are many stories. You're a banker. Here you are doing what? Salesperson. You're a waiter. You have been, accountant or a finance analyst. And what are you doing here? I'm a showroom person, So, I mean, what message I want to give is, do not compromise on what you are asking for. Yeah?
Let's actually let's dive deeper into this, right? Does that mean that people that are applying for jobs, do they not have the right information, or there are so many layers of bitsuma brokers, to intermediaries, bitsuma, that sort of are, they're doing the marketplace, right? So they're just adjusting.
So it's a mix of both, plus desperation, because when you come to Dubai, you at times, most of the time, people have to run their own expenses.
Of course.
Yes. At times people get fortunate and they have family who can support them. But we have seen people living in one room, family of 4, family of 5, I mean, so if you live like that and you are then going to support additional family member, or if you don't live like that, but you're paying your own cost, time really becomes, time goes against you. So imagine if this lady who came as a marketing manager, she's waiting for her 3 months visa, which she paid to her agent because a lady cannot travel on visit visa from Nepal and so many other complications.
Right, of course.
A lot of things. After paying so much, overly paid price, she lands in Dubai and her visa is getting expired and she's not getting a job and there is a job in front of her. Of course, she will give up rather than going back to Nepal and starting this expense list from the beginning, So it's the let's say the third party agents,
right?
Second, the lack of understanding on how to approach the workforce,
right?
The desperation when the time goes against you. It's a mixture of 3 of them. And one or the other will make you compromise with what you are looking for or what you think you are capable for. Yeah.
Right. No, then that makes sense, Shakchhi. Isma, let's sort of talk about something a little different. Ye context, right? When I met you, and I'm so glad we have bit Nepal and everything, right? We were just, I was just starting TGND, and we wanted to contribute and help. And you became the chapter leader for Dubai. From that initial point of okay, कसरी गर्ने, how do we start getting people there? Like कति मान्छे छ पनि थाहा छैन. From that point to when you recently transitioned, you had done so many really successful events, done so much, brought a lot of people together. What was that journey like? And the reason I'm asking it. For people that want to do something similar, right, in any part of the world, what is your suggestion?
So it was an amazing experience, and I'm so glad to be part of that journey. And I was always trying, as once when we met, we were talking about it, how I was trying to do this engagement or, give support to somebody who needs support, whether it's like, okay, create your CV, how to prepare for the job interview, or, where to look for a job, or how not to get scammed because of job, I was doing this individual, let's say, initiative where even you go to a random people and you're like, hey, you're new here. This is not the way to look for a job. Not print your CVs and distribute everywhere. It doesn't work. So I was doing this few individual, let's say, efforts. And basically TGND gave me that forum where I can reach to a bigger community with the purpose, let's say with a bigger purpose that was there that I always wanted to do. And it helped me connect with other people who had similar mindset, and what in not only in Dubai, I think within Middle East, there are multiple groups, and this is where things get a bit complicated, because there are multiple type of groups, and groups that might start with a good intention and not end with a good intention.
Of course.
And when you are a new person, naive, imagine a 23-year-old coming from Nepal to Dubai, and how easy it would be to get caught up in all this, because you will think you will take everyone with a face value.
Of course.
You will not think the consequences behind, because you have not experienced that until now. So it's very easy to fall into that kind of group where you can get very easily, let's say, scammed in many ways.
Right,
so,
right.
Or given hope, but not. At times people just capitalize on you. At times people might, capitalize on you financially or many other ways, So I feel like for my journey through TGND, I was able to connect with multiple people who had the similar purpose, and they already wanted to give, but they didn't know what would be the source, how to do this,
Okay.
So we connected with those individuals, and I realized it's not just me. This, let's say, desperate attempt to raise our community higher than where we are and tell the world that Nepalese are not here just for cheap blue-collar labor, but we are better. We are in a better position. Like when I tell people I'm from Nepal, how people get shocked. I don't want that. I don't want them to get shocked. you know. Yeah, I want them to take it like, okay, yeah, Nepalese people are in these kind of positions, it should be
exactly. It should be it should be like a normal, not an exception, right?
Exactly. So I saw that everybody who was joining the group with the intention to contribute had this in their mind, and everybody in that field was coming from where they were unique, where they were exceptional.
Right.
So everybody said, I'm the only one Nepali in my company who is in this position. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. So I heard so many, I'm the only one. And I'm like, I know where you're coming from because this is where I'm coming from too, So, and then when we did our, the biggest event that we did for job search, how many people came forward. And when I met them, what you see, through their eyes, you can read their soul and they're hoping for. And they were shocked. They were happy that somebody is ready to support them.
Exactly.
Again. So that was really a moving experience for me. And then I'm glad to have that experience.
No, thank you, Shakchhi. You've done an amazing thing. And you're so right. I think, it's so important to have like-minded people. And with anything we do, it's also important to filter out, okay? Because not everybody is there with the same intention. And it's also a lot of learning for us, right? Whether you're a chapter leader or for मलाई नै पनि TGND build गर्दाखेरि, how do I sort of move and scale तर align with people that have the same intention, okay? हुन्छ नि त्यो is super important. तर I'm so grateful. I wish I could have attended an event while you were there. But still, I'm so grateful for everything you've done.
Thank you so much.
अर्को चाहिँ Shakchhi, एउटा sort of initiative that we're starting अहिले more and more this year, and I hope to make it a really big sort of thing for our community, is this conversation around mental health, right? हामी South Asians in general, हाम्रो Nepali community मा चाहिँ we don't talk about any issues, any sort of things. हामी positive कुराहरू मात्रै गर्न चाहन्छौँ. We don't have difficult conversations and so on, होइन? I want to really understand from you as well, right? You've gone through a lot in your life that has made you resilient. You are the product of your lived experiences, होइन? तर त्यसमै पनि what is your experience going through life and that connection to mental health? And, I would also love some suggestions in terms of how do we really cater to our community? How do we really support हाम्रो community, let's say?
It's a very important question, I think, because, everybody, when they look at you, they look at you being a happy person, you being a person who have achieved whatever you desired or they desired, They don't see the journey behind you, and they see whatever is being exposed. Yeah. So of course, during childhood, I've gone through a lot. One of the experience that is still not shared yet with anyone is I've seen, a child getting molested when I was in grade 1, and that was a experience that doesn't leave me ever. And it's very difficult to, acknowledge it at times. And it's something I would say it has stayed with me, And of course, when you're in grade 1, you are so young, you don't know how to react. You only understand that this is something not normal, But as I was growing up and I was processing, that what happened that day, and I know the child, she was actually elder sister of one of my classmates, and I think she must be 11 or something that time. And I think that the experience never left me, It never left me. And it is very hard to get rid. I always wish I should have not, looked at that. I should have not experienced that, because it just happened. If I tell you the incident, what happened was all of us kids, of course, I'm raised in a very disciplined military environment where people trust each other. You trust your neighbor because everybody is like a big family and so on. So we were like 6-7 kids. We were left at somebody's house because the parents were going somewhere. and one of the person came back, and then they went to a room, and we being kids, we were very naughty, and they were naughtier kids than me, a lot of boys, and they started peeping through the hole, and laughing and screaming, and we were like, and of course I also peeped through the hole, and what I saw, I of course can never take it back, and it made me actually a very different person. I think there is I would say weight in my within me that I don't know how to take it off. So and later, of course, I met her. I never confronted her about this. I saw the lady getting married, everything. And I always wondered that how much of, things that she has gone through and so on. So,
and everything.
So I realized as a parent, like I always, that's what made me a very protective mother, because I don't trust people easily with my kids. That's one thing. And doesn't mean somebody is acting like your family, doesn't mean they are your family. I think one thing also our society need to learn is, think about when your child is, acting differently. Like I felt like right now, if one of my child doesn't talk suddenly, stops talking,
right,
it becomes very quiet, I would think about what went wrong. Is there something going on,
Exactly.
The child isn't. And at that time, I feel like nobody noticed that I was quiet, And I'm sure it didn't just traumatize me. It traumatized all the kids who were with us in that house.
Of course.
So, and in terms of when you talk about mental health and so on, it's not like I have a best relationship with everyone, but I have this thing which I try to get rid of. I do not have a relationship that is normal. I either have a very good relationship, I can die for them and so on, or relationships where I don't want to even talk to them.
Right.
I don't even want to hear about them. I don't want to even mention their name, So I think this is coming from that, experience that I have faced, because I'm like, either you're going to be black or white for me. There's no gray, So I see that people, they have relationships where they are like, okay, I can do small talk with you. I can say hi to you every day, those kind of things. But for me, that has been very difficult. I can be either very good friend of yours, your best person, or you can be nobody for me. So I think that's what it did to me. I have spoken to very few, like literally like one or two very close friends about this. And they always told me that, you need to take this off. You need to, consult somebody. And I honestly have not done it until now. And I don't know how to approach this, because we are not coming from that kind of society. But I think sooner it will happen, because I feel like I'm 40 now. I cannot carry this more with me,
And you shouldn't have to, Shakchhi. I'll share about that. It's something that is just painful to hear, right? So I cannot imagine you going through it as a child, even as somebody that saw it, not just even experience it, right? One thing about our community in general is this emphasis on not talking about things, hiding things, pretending like everybody can trust everybody, when it's not true, right? I think we need to do better about this. Personally, Usman, I'm grateful that something that, this weight that you've been carrying all this time, you're sharing it with me, with our community. I think it means a lot. Right? As we're building TGND, right? You've been such a big part of it as well. We talk about professionally and so that's all important, right? How do we really lift our community? That I think it's also should be primarily this safe space, right? Where we get to even talk about these kind of things, right? Where we're not saying, oh, पहिलाको कुरा बिर्स. Yeah, that's not true, or whatever, or like this different variations we've all been told throughout our lives. त्यो needs to change.
Yes, I think one of the reason could be because, what I faced when I was in Calcutta made me, let's say, I was too desperate to become independent, as I said, that after that incident. And I was too desperate to prove that, I am better, just invest on me and I will show you, So I have not shared this because, of course, this is not something that I want to, even if it will, every now and then it will come to my brain, it will come to my memory, and I cannot, even if I'm not thinking about it, what happens is, as I said, there's a weight on me because of this experience. So why I have been not sharing? Because I don't want people to judge me because of this experience. I don't want people to think that, I'm a different person now because I have gone through this experience. Or I don't want people to pity on me,
Of course.
Until now, I have literally, as I said, I have literally told 2 of my very good friends, they only know about this incident. Nobody knows about it. And it's because I don't want anybody else to think I have been weak or I have gone through this experience. Oh, I feel bad for her. I feel sorry for her. I don't want to stand anywhere where people should feel pity on me. So it would be that, judgment of the society that I have been trying to avoid as well by not sharing that story. And of course, it comes, as you said, it's all because of your experience, where you're coming from, what you have seen in life. This is, I think, the biggest reason that I don't want to get judged by anyone because of this experience.
Right. Manityu, I think because our society, our community is like that, there's hardly conversation around, the best thing to do at that point, probably helpful would have been taking care of the girl that actually, went through it, right?
Yes.
Like it becomes, least priority because there's so many layers to it. Okay?
Yes.
Right. So it's tragic. It's
tragic, and I honestly, that this is what also made me at times cross my boundaries, where I start talking to parents and start giving them this education, because I feel like, as you mentioned also, we trust people. Yeah, we want to live in a world where you can trust every person. You don't want to lock your house. You don't want to watch your kids, but this is not the world we are in. So your parental ignorance can become a damage for your child for a long time.
Right.
Stop meeting my friend just because I don't want to see his sister. So this should have been a different. I don't know what the parents were doing. I was like, I always thought why and she's 11. She was 11 or something at that time. Think about it. She's preteen.
Exactly.
I mean, this not happen to anyone.
Exactly. And even if something happens, you should have a safe space with your family and loved ones to even पछि पनि, right? It's so sad that not just that something happens, but there is no place, right? When we talk about mental health for our community is things of all kinds, right? There's so many to it. It's not just about somebody that's going through a mental health issue for any reason, right? Something like this, or all life experiences that they're going through something, that I think it's also this awareness that we need in people around us. Okay? Like you said, हाम्रो बच्चाहरू all of a sudden quiet भयो भने it's on us to ask these questions, try to figure out, get some help. If we see that even around us, हाम्रो आफ्नै बच्चा या ऊ पनि हुनु पर्दैन, right? How do we do better? Okay? Right? This situation from that long time ago is actually, if it happens today, I hope we would do things differently. Okay?
Yes, yes. I think we have a huge opportunity because I'm sure it's not just one story. There would have been many in different places in our society, because we are coming from society that trusts people very easily.
Exactly. Ani, the sad thing is also, US or सबैतिर चाहिँ it's like this Me Too movement when you hear about these kind of things, high profile people and so on. The worst thing about our part of the world is it's not people you don't know. It's people that we trust and they're around us all the time and so on, right? So it's not easy.
It's another, another comment I want to add here is when this Me Too was going on, there was a lot of this thought going on in my mind, like, okay, so much has happened and what I have experienced. Of course, I'm reliving that moment every now and then and regretting to, go to that keyhole and we're like, why did I do that? I always like blame myself, like, why did I do that, So, but I think at that time I was also thinking that, so many people, because they also misuse the opportunity. Sometimes the victim doesn't get the right highlight, and people are using either Me Too or any other, stand for a different reason, for capitalizing on something else. And, this is one thing that also I feel like many people do not share their experience because they feel like they might be get taglined by people taking opportunity on a certain staff, which can be misusing basically. Yeah,
exactly. त्यो intentional हुन पनि अलिकति जरुरी छ. It's like, sometimes like you said, right, त्यो right intentions पनि हुँदैन कति times चाहिँ. So it's more complicated. तर Shakchhi, let's अलिकति lighten the mood अलिकति bit, right? Now you're in a new place, new role, lots of exciting things to look forward to. What are some things you're hoping to achieve 2024 ma? 1, on a personal level, 2, on a professional level, and 3, even, when we think about the diaspora, it's a completely different sort of set of people for you, right? So what are some things that you're hoping to achieve?
So I'm in a place where, as I said before, I should put a tagline, I think, on a hashtag on I'm the only one. so I'm in a place where, again, I'm the only one. And so far I'm the only lady in the team. So I'm definitely proud of it, and I hope more women would join, more women from my background would join. I want to see that happening. I think for me, professionally, of course, I have a let's say career pipeline in my mind already on my next 2 to 3 positions, what I want to do, and I'm going to work hard for that for sure. Personally, I want to connect with more Nepali professionals and support them on how we can support the extended people who really seek help. Like as I said, through the event, I met people who didn't know what to do in CV, how to write the CV, how to go for it. So I want to reach those people, if not directly through TGND, through other forums, and try to be a helpful person. Because honestly, when my daughters grow up, when they enter the workforce, I don't want them to say I'm the only one,
Exactly. We have to change it. We have to change it for sure. No, they're awesome. Shakchhi, we've for our podcast, we've introduced this new section. It's called Rapid Fire, about 8-9 questions, 30 seconds. So, I'll ask something, just whatever is your first answer. You don't have to explain anything. Answer? Should we get started? First one, favorite product from Nestlé?
Maggie.
Awesome. A Nepali food you cannot live without?
Momo, for sure.
Awesome, right? Always. Third thing, can women have it all?
Yes, definitely.
Right? And you're an example of that. Your fashion icon?
Me, myself. I don't have any, but my daughters are my fashion advisors, let's say.
Awesome. Next, say, describe your leadership style in one word.
empowerment.
Awesome. That's always the best one. Next, say your parenting style in one word.
Live your life. It's live. That's it.
No, I think that's important. Timro, dream holiday destination.
Machu Picchu.
Awesome. You haven't been there, right?
I haven't been there. I've tried to be there a few times, but I think this is going to work sometime soon.
We should connect because that's on the top of my list as well.
Okay.
Those were my questions, Shakchhi. Thank you so much. First time beete dekin oily sammas, I've seen you grow within TGND, and I've gotten to know you, as a parent, as this incredible professional, and now we also get to know a little bit more about you, right? What makes you the person you are. Tisile, thank you so much for sharing that journey with us.
Thank you so much, Preeti, to you as well, and Subhigya, of course, to you as well for this opportunity. The main thing that happened today was I was able to take off a bit of weight from within me, and I'm happy to do that. I hope this helps me to get away for all the negativity that came around the trauma. One last thing I want to add is what really helped me through the journey that I faced. What helped me pick up myself is actually always trying to find something positive around. I have always tried to find somebody who gives me a positive energy, whether it's as a person or as something that you can do. Yeah. So my tip to everybody is stay positive. Try to find that positivity corner for yourself, whether it's doing something or, talking to some person or finding your let's say positivity corner or a gang, which always gives you a good vibe. I have this one friend, she's from Germany, and she always sends me this amazing positive voice notes. And I always tell her that when I'm in a bad mood, I just listen to your notes because it starts with such hype. It's like, hey, so I love that energy. And I would say, thank you. I get to, let's say, look at my journey back and take off some weight from me. And, I cannot be thankful enough to TGND.
No, it's actually, I'm so glad, right? When we started when we were going to talk about the podcast, which was more about you and so on, Tara, thank you for being so honest with me and, our community. I think that is so needed, and especially from someone like you, right? I think when Hamle with the podcast, our aim is to showcase the humans behind the names, right? The life stories, and that successful people also have gone through a lot in their lives, and you're such an example in that. I'm so grateful for you for sharing that. And Hamro audience, I'd say also what I'd love to add is, Timro, with your tips about finding that positive corner, the Great Nepali Diaspora desperately wants to be that safe space, right? Where we don't just talk about our professional accomplishments or, goals and so on, that we also are this safe space for each other, okay? Right, in terms of talking about anything. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And to our audience, please like and subscribe. Thank you.